Yeah, so sorry guys. Once again, welcome to the Glorified Family Outreach. Um, it's good to have you guys back again. Sorry we had a technical glitch and sorry for the time. Like I said in my previous, in our last video, I said I was going to start a series and I'll be talking discovering your identity and your purpose. You are discovering your identity and your purpose. So, a question that people often ask is knowing who you are, discovering your purpose. And there's a simple two life questions we ask on daily basis. Who am I? And why am I here? So there's a reason God created you on earth. He sent you to do something, and He has deposited that talent, that gift inside you. Unfortunately, a lot of people just walk through the earth without achieving their purpose in life, just because they do not know who they are and why their purpose in life. So today, I want to do the introduction, and in subsequent live sections, uh, I will actually break it into points and dwell on those points. Before I start, I want to quickly just give us a true life story. What I experienced some years ago when I was traveling from uh, Dubai to Canada. I was running late for my trip, so I called my agent to get me a ticket to go to Canada from Dubai. You all know it's quite a long journey. It's about 16 hours flight. So my agent got me a ticket. She said, "Oh, the ticket is quite expensive." I said, "Please go ahead. We don't have any options because there are no seats in other aircraft." So she got me the ticket. I paid and I went to the airport on that fateful day. When I got to the airport, you know, uh, I had to pass through the economy queue to board to get my boarding pass. And it was quite a long queue because it's a big flight, it's a double decker flight. So when I got there, I had to go through the economy queue and pass through all the stress. Eventually, when I got my boarding pass, I didn't actually look at it. Most times they say if you want to deceive, if you want to play people trick, just put it black and white. I actually didn't look at the ticket, my boarding pass, just the way I didn't look at the ticket. And I went to the departure hall. Again, I had to pass through all the stress, you know, sitting on the general departure hall. And when it was time to board the flight, I said it's a double decker plane, the business class is up and the economy class is down. So I went to the economy lane to board. And when it got to my turn, the air hostess looked at me and said, "May I see your ticket?" And I gave it to her. She said, "Oh, you do not belong here." What? He said, "I do not belong to this class, that I'm holding a business class ticket." Oh my God. That was, I had to go back and go up to board the right class. That was a business class. And I was wondering, how did I make this mistake? It's actually not a really mistake because I didn't know what I was carrying. In fact, I was holding a business class ticket, thinking I was holding a normal economy class ticket. What that means is that one of my fantasies to actually fly, and that was the reason I was flying the Emirates anyway, to fly and go through that enjoyment, when you're traveling with a business class ticket, Emirates ticket, and it's the wonderful lounge, business class lounge in Dubai. I missed all that. The express, passage when you want to get your boarding pass. I actually didn't enjoy all that. I had to struggle with the crowd. And, I missed everything. I never had the groove, the fun. So that is a true life experience. And the key lessons to learn from here is that, number one, I was not aware of the ticket I was holding. I was carrying a business class ticket and I knew it not. Instead, I thought I was holding an economy ticket. The second lesson to learn is I was not aware of the authority that the ticket carries, just because I didn't know, what I was holding. So I wasn't aware of the authority that ticket, the access it grants me. And because I was not aware what I was carrying, I never enjoyed the benefit of the ticket. I mean, I only enjoyed half because I had to fly on the business class, but I didn't enjoy all that I need to enjoy at the lounge. I missed all the benefits. The pre-boarding benefits, I missed all. I enjoyed a few on board the aircraft because I realized the power I was carrying the ticket at a point. So it's possible if I had never realized that and the air hostess didn't tell me and I bought the economy class, I will never enjoy any benefit of a business class ticket I was holding. So this is a true life experience. And I want to relate it to what I want to talk about today. And that is discovering your identity and purpose. In discussing this, I want to relate it to a real life experience and also a biblical experience. If we look at Luke 4, verse 16 to 21, and he said he came to Nazareth when he had been brought up, and as was in his custom, he went to the synagogue and on the Sabbath day. And he stood up to read the scroll, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him. He unrolled the scroll and found the place where it was written. Said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor, and he has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of the sight to the blind, and to set at liberty those who are oppressed, and to proclaim the years of the Lord forever." So this is Jesus Christ himself. Jesus Christ actually, he started his ministry after he discovered himself in this encounter I just read. That was when he started his ministry. He didn't start it until he discovered himself. And what this says that Jesus answers both questions. Who am I? And what am I doing here? Not just for himself, but as a model for us. This passage shows us that identity leads to purpose, and purpose gives direction to life. So until identity precedes purpose, until you know who you are able to identify yourself, you cannot have a purpose in life. And a lot of people come to this world, go without knowing who they are and the purpose why God created them. God gave all of us talents. Even the story in the Bible where they talk about talent given to some were given 5, some were given 2, even one was given 1. So it means everybody is not equal. If God has deposited a gift in you, for instance, most of us from birth, my own case from birth, my grandpa called me my engineer. I knew I was going to be an engineer because I was talented with technical things. And because I identify myself as an engineer, then I started focusing on everything that is engineering. And thank God, I am successful today because I was able to follow my gift, my talent. and create a purpose for my life in that direction. So identity precedes purpose. Until you know who you are, the talents that you have, come on, you are not going anywhere. And purpose gives direction. So when you first of all identify yourself, two, it gives you a purpose, and three, purpose gives you direction. True purpose is to serve others. So whatever you do, you are offering a service to people. Knowing who you are helps you endure rejection and challenges. Look, when you start, for instance, you're on the path to become an engineer, you're going to face a lot of challenges, so many hurdles, but when you know who you are, you know your purpose, it will do what? It will give you the courage to overcome, helps you to overcome and endure rejection and challenges. If God has created you to be a pastor, you can't run away from it. When you identify yourself, your calling, just like Jesus Christ, then Jesus Christ endured persecution, rejection, but because he knew who he was able to overcome all of them. So today, I just want everybody to know that you must know who you are. What are those things that God has deposited in you? If you don't know them, you are just walking through the air. That's why a lot of people, from my experience, I realized halfway that I was holding a business class ticket. And because of that, I only enjoy the benefit half. But for those who do not actually know who they are, who cannot identify the ticket they are holding in life, they just go through until they die, until they end their lives, and without achieving anything, without achieving the purpose God created them. There is a purpose God created all of us. Some people, God created them to serve others. If God had created you to serve someone and you go and be on your own, you are just wasting your time. Some, God created them to be a CEO. Right from when I was even in my secondary school, a teenager, that was when I knew I was going to be a CEO. And that was when I formed the acronyms of my company name. And, some years later, the company was registered and I became a CEO. And today I'm a CEO. So we need to identify. Identity comes before purpose. That is point number one. Identity comes before purpose. You must first of all identify who you are. And how do you identify yourself? It is God's, you can identify yourself by asking God. Say, God, tell me, who am I? Put the question back to God. Because it can come as an inspiration. It can come as a dream. It can come as anything. It can come, it gives you the awareness to know the talent, the gift that he has deposited in you. People will see it. Some people will even tell you, you look like a pastor. You look like an engineer. You look like, like my second son, you can talk from now to tomorrow. I say, hey, come on, this one is already going to be a journalist or something, or a minister or something, because he can talk from now to tomorrow. But I have one who doesn't talk at all. I know that one is taking after me, is an engineer. So if you can identify who you are, that is the first step. People just run without getting to the end because they don't know their true identity. They don't know who they are. So identity comes before purpose. After you have identified yourself, like in the case of Jesus, he said Jesus began declaring who he is before explaining what he will do. He knows. He knows. And what will he do? He says he's anointed, sent, empowered by God. You cannot live out your purpose correctly if you don't understand your identity. Yes, you cannot live out your purpose correctly if you don't identify who you are. That is the first stage. Many people try to do before they know. Many people try to, like, bandwagon effect. Oh, everybody is engineer in my family, so I have to be an engineer. Everybody has a calling to be a pastor in my house, so I have to be. No. So you must know who you are before you start talking about people. God wants us to know who we are first, because that was the first thing Jesus did, by knowing who he is. And from there, he started his ministry. Purpose is giving, not choosing. It is God that gives us the purpose is given to you, just like it was given to Jesus. He knew who he was, and God handed the purpose to him and said, you are to do this, you are to do that. Jesus' mission was not self-made. It was written in scriptures and empowered by the Holy Spirit. His purpose include preaching good news, bringing freedom, healing broken hearts. So it means that he knew who he was. He was an anointed son of God. Then from there, his purpose came. And his purpose includes preaching good news, bringing freedom, and healing the broken heart. So as a human being, like I said, I want to relate this to our individual lives, because we do not know who we are. We don't have a purpose. When you know who you are, then you have a purpose. And the purpose is you are going to you have the talent to become an engineer, and you are going to become an engineer to create something for people. Like I always say, the richest people today, people like, Elon Musk, they know who they are, and they have a purpose to solve humanity problem. And that was how they started his company. And today, he's one of the richest guy in life, because Mark Zuckerberg knew people's problem. And that was how he created Facebook, for people to make the world a global village. So until your life is purposeful, you cannot achieve anything. And how will your life become purposeful? It's for you to know exactly who you are. Purpose is not about personal ambition. It is about divine assignment. So it's not about personal ambition because you see somebody making it in one direction, then everybody runs there, or because you have an uncle who can help you get a job in one company, then you run there. Your ambition is, once I graduate, I'll go and work in my dad's company. No, it's a divine assignment. Look, we are only reciting on earth what God has written about us. God has a script for all of us. If you can see the future, you will see what God wants you to become. And when you see it, you see that you have not even achieved half of it. God's purpose align with his word. God equip those he calls. That is on the godly path. So when you have the gift, God equips you with everything that you need. If you are in line with his word, if you are in his direction, in achieving what he has proposed for you, he will equip you with everything. And really equip you. You only struggle when you are not in line with God's plan for you. Let me use it that way. That's the only way you struggle. So people struggle with a lot of professions they found themselves. Some people went to the university to study law. At the end of the day, end up becoming a banker just because they didn't know. And they can never do well. So when you know who you are, you know the gift that you have, walk in that direction. When you walk in that direction, you see that you will never struggle for you to achieve anything. Purpose is centered on serving. So like I tell a lot of people, in everything you do, we are all servants. Whether you are a president of a country, you are a servant. Don't be selfish. Be focused on people. So when, like I give example, my Zuckerberg is all their purpose is focused on people. It's focused on people. How to solve humanity problem. How to solve Jesus Christ was solving humanity problem. If it's a focus on you, then you will miss it. You can never succeed if whatever you're thinking is focused on you. In the case of Jesus, his mission focused on people in need, the poor, the captive, the blind, the oppressed. So like I said, first of all, identify who you are. Why are you here? Then let your purpose not be focused on you alone. Let it be focused on people. Just like Jesus Christ was focused on the poor, the captives, the blind, the oppressed. And when you do that, it gives you a direction. When you're in the right direction, trust me, you will never be weary because you are happy. Everything goes smoothly for you. People struggle because they're in the wrong place. I have people who went to the university, study finance, and they end up being in an engineering field. And they had to go back again to start afresh. That's why you see a lot of people at age 50, they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. At age 40, they don't have a direction. They're only just following people. And they call it, in my place, follow, follow. When they follow the people to a point, the people abandon them, they go back to square one to start another journey. So like I always give example, I was hosting a business class ticket, I never know it. In my case, I had opportunities even because I have identified myself that I'm going to be a CEO. Even when I left paid employment at a point, when I got a bigger job, I rejected it because I knew that one is going to take me out from my course. I had to remain where I was because I was focused. So when you have a purpose, it drives you, it makes you to be focused in the direction that you are going. If you do not have a purpose, then you are not, people can divert you anyhow. You know, in my place, you hear people say today, it's filling station that is raining. Oh, everybody go and open a filling station, a gas station. They say, oh, is this that is bringing money? Oh, is blogging? Oh, everybody is a blogger now. But is that what you are called to do? Is that what God wants you to do? So yes, most times we say everything is physical. But trust me, if everything is physical, God, everybody will have equal gift. Just the way it's said in the Bible, some 5 talents, some 2, some 1. And the reason why the one that had just 1 talent failed, we all know it. So you must go back to the drawing board. Today, as I round up, I want everyone that is listening to the sound of my voice, please go identify yourself. You might be old, but it's better you go and start afresh, and rather than continue on the wrong direction, going the wrong way and not achieving anything. I have a friend when I was working, and then he was working at a bank, but he went back to the university and read engineering. And today he's working in one of the biggest oil and gas engineering firm in the world. Because he discovered himself early. If he didn't discover himself, he would still be somewhere, working and just suffering, but he was able to discover himself. And he went back to the drawing board, went back to go back to school again. And today, he's a big man. So there's nothing like identifying yourself, who you are, identifying the gifts that God has deposited in you, and having a purpose for your life. From there, purpose come. And from from the purpose, direction come. And because you know where you are going, it can be, for instance, you are traveling a 100-kilometer journey. Because you know where you are going, you will just be going straight and be singing and smiling, sipping your coffee. But if you don't know where you are going, you get to a point, you'll be lost. Say, come again, please. Am I in the right direction? So having identify yourself, purpose, it gives you a direction, and when you follow that course, definitely you're going to be successful in life. True purpose always points outward and not inward. Your purpose will evolve compassion. God often uses ordinary people to meet real needs. You don't need any uncle. You don't need any person. As far as you're in the right direction, God will always send your helpers to you because that is his purpose for you. But it requires courage, because a lot of discouragement will come. It requires courage. You must be courageous and bold because you know where you are going. That is why people that know their onions, they will tell you, I know where I'm going. I remember when things were tough with me because I know where I'm going. I say, here comes our millionaire. I'll tell myself, here comes our billionaire. Because I know where I'm going. So even when people laugh at me, remember in our country where we had a president that said he never wore shoes. Then because he knew where he was going, he ended up as a president. He was the first president that became president without running for election. So you get things in a platter of gold when you have a purposeful life, when your life has a direction and you are following the direction that God has destined for you. God has deposited talent in you. He has deposited gift in you. You will have a smooth ride and you end up living a purposeful life, a life that pleases God. And God will look down and say, yeah, that is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Thank you so much for watching. In our next video, we'll continue with this discussion. Please stay tuned to our channel. Remember to, if you are just watching, please, this is the Glorified. If you are just joining for the first time, this is the Glorified Family Outreach. We are here to support you. God gave us a vision some time ago that, the family unit is going down and there is need to revive it. There is need for people to know what God's plan is for each and every member of the family and the entire family unit. It is the smallest unit in a society, in the country, in the world. So when we get it right from the foundation, then in the entirety, the world will be a better place for us. We say, make the world, heal the world, make it a better place. This is one of the missions. This is one of the vision that God has given to us. Support us, hit the subscription button, and please do not forget to like and comment in all our videos. We want to see your comments so we can review them and, support everyone. God has brought us to support you both spiritually, physically, mentally, and in any way you want our support. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Stay tuned. Further instructions will be given as we go into on Saturday. We have a live session that is coming up as well. Please stay tuned and stay connected. Thank you. Please join us and subscribe to all of our channels. And God will bless you as you do that. Shalom.